Welcome to this journey across the Surf Coast Shire in search of unique family history resources at each of our locations. There are 8 history groups within the Surf Coast Shire. They range from typical historical societies to a single person, and there are also web-based organisations. The Surf Coast Family History Group operates with and out of the Anglesey Historical Society. Deans Marsh is a single person with lots of valuable information on Deans Marsh. Consequently, Deans Marsh is not visited in this journey, but we can easily pass on contact details if that is an area of interest. The Surf Coast Shire helps support our various missions in different ways, from venue provision to grants. The Shire has an organisational structure of 3 pillars. We come under the Arts umbrella, which is part of the tourism portfolio. Our meetings are quarterly, with the venue and chairperson rotated at each meeting. Recently, we've developed a Memorandum of Understanding to improve the communication between Shire officers and the history groups in relation to heritage, history, Shire planning and heritage studies. We have a long history and have grown over the last 26 years, formed by the then Arts Officer Julie Dyer and instigated from the vision of one councillor who believed the Surf Coast Shire could establish something like the Geelong Heritage Centre. Lorne, Winchelsea and Anglesey began meeting in 1996. Networking was Julie's aim, to provide support for new groups and for each other, as each group could bring different resources, advice and experience to the committee. When Torquay Historical Society was starting out a few years later, there was support to help them get going. Over the years, the committee has participated in a number of different projects, from the development of a calendar, Shire display, welcoming the Commonwealth Games baton, to more recently input into the Stage 2C heritage study and the closed schools website. The website text comes primarily from Keith Cecil's unpublished manuscript and the Vision and Realisation books. Each group contributed the images and copies of pupil registers which have not been indexed and are not searchable. The images and registers can be copied from the website. Included are also books produced by the schools celebrating the history of the school. Our journey today will start and end at the beginning of the Great Ocean Road in Torquay. We will visit Anglesey, Lorne, Winchelsea, Mauriac, Mount Duneed and finish the journey back in Torquay. Our mission is to find more information about Alexander Anderson, who was a shearer on Andrew White's property in Paraparap in the 1890s. But where else did he work? Did he own land anywhere? Is there any family information that we can find? The Torquay Historical Society would meet informally before being incorporated in 2000. They operate out of the Torquay Old Police Station in Price Street, Torquay. Once you step inside the rooms, there's a bookshelf containing folders on the history of pioneering families. They range from donated family histories and research by the Historical Society and transcripts of interviews. The only Anderson file found was James Anderson, who owned a holiday home in Torquay. Also in the room are many Torquay Primary School pupil registers and class photos. These are currently on display as part of an extensive Torquay Schools history exhibition. There is also a drawer of enlarged PROV maps. In the collection, unique to Torquay, is an undated real estate map which names owners of the properties at the time. It has also been annotated with updates. The Society has many photos of early Torquay which are on display or can be found in folders. Anything linked to the family history are also in those particular folders. The Torquay Historical Society published a book on the servicemen from in and around Torquay, and also holds images and newspaper articles on the Light Horse Camp that was held in Torquay in 1940. The library of books expand not only local history but Australian history, and includes an extensive range of the investigator journals. Generally, physical access to the files is by appointment, or you can visit the site on the first Sunday of each month between 2 and 4 p.m. Travelling along the Great Ocean Road, we arrive in Anglesey, and the Surf Coast Family History Group operate out of the Anglesey Historical Society rooms and work in conjunction with them. The Anglesey Research Room provides you with access to the Macbeth and Digger CDs covering all states. Although old, these CDs of census records, passenger lists, and indexes of births, deaths, marriages, and cemeteries, including Melbourne Cemetery, are a useful resource for the family historian through the ability to export relevant surnames. If needed, there is also access to the internet at these terminals. Anglesey also own IGI, International Genealogical Index microfiche for many countries. The group maintains that these indexes provide much more accurate information than the Digger CDs. Many years ago, the group compiled 2 CDs, one on the schools of the Surf Coast Shire, where they collated and published many pupil registers. A lot of this information can also be accessed from the closed schools website. The other CD has information on interments across the cemeteries in the Surf Coast Shire. Amongst the files, we found a cemetery record for Alexander Anderson buried at Mount Duneed Cemetery. Over the years, the Family History Group has collated newspaper cuttings relevant to Anglesey from the Geelong Advertiser. These go up to 1995. There are also hard copies of electoral rolls. While you can get access to these on Ancestry or Find My Past, hard copies are sometimes much easier to browse. There was no mention of an Alexander Anderson around the end of the 1890s, early 1900s, but there were plenty of other Andersons across the district. The Anglesey Historical Society rooms have an extensive library of journals and books covering local and Australian history. Included in the collection are copies of Vision and Realisation and Keith Cecil's series of books. Keith was a prolific researcher, photographer and writer of local history. He was also a long-term member of the Anglesey Historical Society. Another historian and long-term member of the group was Lindsay Braden, who researched and published his work on the early history of Anglesey, the houses and the people who were involved in the early days of the town. The Surf Coast Family History files held at this location about Anglesey and Aireys Inlet and district families are both paper and digital. There is a filing cabinet filled with research and donated family histories, and over the years more information has been added to in Family Tree Maker. A wonderful display of coloured real estate posters stands in the corner of the room, and others are stored away. Thousands of photos of people in and around Anglesey and Aireys Inlet are held by the group. An extensive collection of Keith Cecil's images are also held here. The photographic collection has been digitised and easily accessible on one of the research computers. Recently, with the installation of the Anglesey War Memorial, the collection of military files has been expanded to over 400 service peoples across all conflicts. People are identified, copies of their service records, photos and stories are part of each person's file. A new website is under construction. The current website has contact details. The family history research is conducted by appointment only. However, History House is opened the second Sunday of every month. Travelling to the southwest corner of the Shire, we arrive at the Lawn Historical Society and their recently renovated rooms. Many of Lawn's records have been digitised so that information can be easily found. There are databases on oral history, Great Ocean Road workers, Peter Alsop's book on the Great Ocean Road Memorial Archway, images, videos, maps and donated family histories. The digitising of particular books allows for a search of the PDF files for family names. We look for Alexander Anderson in the extensive Lawn District School database. Our search found no results. We next turned to looking up the Geelong Advertiser news clippings. Here we found a Horace Anderson who may or may not be related to Alexander. The Geelong Advertiser news clippings from 1840 have been carefully typed, creating a 1700-page file which is easily searched. With Trove only going up to 1929 for the Geelong Advertiser, this is a very valuable tool for the Lorne district. Many of the real estate maps have been digitised and have been made text searchable. They have also been tagged where text could not be converted, making family names easy to find. But no Alexander Anderson was to be found, which was to be expected. Folders of the images held by the Society provide joy and excitement to the local audience when they are brought out on display. They have been and continue to be digitised and tagged to aid research. The library contains many local books and family history files bound in folders. Contact details are on the website. The researchers are happy to follow up on any inquiries rather than researchers travelling to the rooms at Lorne. We head back through the forest northeast and we arrive at Winchelsea Historical Society, located in the community centre, which is part of the old Shire offices. The Winchelsea Shire rate books are just one part of the Winchelsea Shire collection that was given to the Historical Society. Volunteers Margaret and Lindsay look up the rate books for Alexander Anderson and find that he was owner-occupier of land between 1910 and 1921 in the parish of Murnee. Looking up many databases on the system, we find that Alexander Anderson married in the Presbyterian Church in 1919 and that he had 2 sons going to the Murnee State School. When we researched this extensive library of football photos, footy records, club minutes saved by Shirley, one of the volunteers, as a personal collection over many, many years, we found that Alexander Anderson was associated with the club in 1920 and 1921. The above image is her collection, which she donated to the Society. Shirley is still an active member today. This amazing collection has photos labelled with names, newspaper cuttings, programs and social events as well. It also includes netball and Lions club history. In other parts of the library, there are books produced by the Historical Society over the years. And this is where we found mention of Alexander Anderson in the Winchelsea Timeline, the History of Winchelsea Shire and Coast to Country, a history of the Shire. Looking in the map drawer, none of the extensive range of annotated maps indicated that he was a landowner, but we could identify the location of the property from the information supplied in the rate books. Over the years, many family histories have been researched by the Society and some donated by families. The filing cabinets are filled with these stories and are easily accessible. By far the largest family history file is that of world-famous Australian soprano Marjorie Lawrence. The Society holds not only her family history but audio tapes of interviews, an extensive image library and many other details on this amazing lady's career. Researchers and film crews visit the rooms to access these original files for their stories. There are boxes and boxes of photos in the storage room. Many of them are labelled with names and the locations are identified. Images that were digitised many years ago are identified through their accession number rather than being tagged with a family name. We found nothing on Alexander Anderson, so we need to keep looking. Winchelsea has a very active group of volunteers and the rooms are open every Wednesday 1 to 4 p.m, also many Fridays, which is their work day. You can just drop in to do research and there will be someone who can help you. Most are 2nd or 3rd generation Winchelsea people who are walking, talking computers themselves and can easily guide you in your research. This year we welcome the Moriac History Group to our committee. They operate out of the Moriac Community Centre. Their first meeting was a wonderful success with many community members showing up to offer photos, stories, ideas and suggestions. The group have just begun recording family stories. They've started digitising the hundreds of donated photos, which are mostly school photos, and a partnership with a local primary school has the students involved in recording and documenting the stories of the older residents. Currently, the best way to offer stories or research family history is to contact Evan directly or members of the group through the Moriac Community Centre. The Mount Dunedin History Group is the first of two digital history groups in the Shire. The group itself is now disbanded, but Gwen, who developed and maintains the blog site, continues to research and publish her findings here. Research is published not on a website but via a blog. The search facility is through the categories, or you can find information via the menu at the top. Family history stories cover not only the Mount Dunedin area but the surrounding district. The site includes photos, maps, and in some cases there are comments by family members or the community. Newspaper articles, photos, and highlighted maps feature in the published research, as well as the history of locations and events. Locally, one of the biggest events was the sinking of the rig Earl of Charlemont at Barwon Heads, where nobody perished. Ewing Blythe, a survivor from the shipwreck, settled in Connewarre. The history of the Earl of Charlemont and Ewing Blythe stories followed up with the Blythe family history, which is typical of the way the well-researched events and people is published on this blog. A large feature of the blog is the family history and stories of the many councillors who were members of the South Barwon and Barrabool Shires. Go to the blog and use the Contact Us tab on the menu. Gwen will get back to you as soon as she can. Torquay Museum Without Walls is the second of our web-based history groups in the Surf Coast Shire. While there is some duplication of family history information with the Torquay Historical Society, Torquay Museum Without Walls operates very differently in the research and publication of that research. Over the years, those researching their family history have changed their expectations of where and how to find documents. Back in the 80s, when I started my family history journey, I was happy to sit a prob at Laverton and go through the original records or decipher microfiche or microfilm text. I was ecstatic to read the IGI index, find a hit, and wait weeks for the film to arrive from Salt Lake City. There were many also who felt joy at reading the results of their research going through this process. Like many things today, we want results immediately. We are impatient when the internet is slow or our computer program is taking forever to do its tasks. We also want instant gratification from our family history research. We want also to be able to access this information from home. How happy are we when Prov digitises a set of documents and makes them available online? That is the philosophy of Torquay Museum Without Walls. They take the legwork out of research and publish their findings in their quarterly magazine and on their website. The website provides a number of search facilities. A search can be made across the entire website pages and posts. There are surname databases to documents that are not posted on the website to help any inquiries to resources that the organisation holds. The magazines are filled with local and family history stories. These are available to digital and financial members with copies older than 12 months posted on the website. Currently, there are 6 databases where researchers can go to the website and search by surname, then request further information. The advantage of this facility is that the researcher will know if there are any documents relating to the surname. Sometimes historical societies ask for money without the researcher knowing if anything will be found. One of the databases is the Bathing Box Register. Bathing boxes covered the shoreline in the early 20th century. They had to register and pay a licence fee, so names and addresses were recorded in the register. Another database is the Family History Information. There are over 3,000 entries in this database, which we record in Family Tree Maker. The file includes notes and images. For example, text is added from newspaper articles. Details of rates and electoral rolls can be noted. Images of maps, titles, wills, probate, or more photos can easily be attached to the person in the file. Using this program, we're able to easily export our research via a GEDCOM file to those inquiring about the family. Soon to be published is the Pupils Register Index for Torquay, Mount Duneed, Conowari, Janjak, Paraparap and Brimley schools. Currently the page only includes a history of each school. Torquay Museum Without Walls holds an extensive collection of local titles and memorials supporting family histories. These titles are linked to the parish maps, which also have an overlay of a current map through Prov Map Walker. On the Freshwater Creek and Balbray Cemetery database, interments are listed. The Freshwater Creek database includes the translation of headstones, which sometimes are in German, and family notices associated with the burial. Images of the headstones with their locations can be accessed through Google Maps. While images have been made of all the headstones at Balbray Cemetery up to the end of May 2022, they are yet to be uploaded to Google Maps. Torquay Museum Without Walls holds an extensive range of images which are still to be tagged and indexed. Once this task is complete, the database will be posted online. Generally, inquiries can be responded to quickly, however. Military information is covered in the book Together They Served, published by Torquay Museum Without Walls in 2018. It contains details of over 700 men and women from across the Surf Coast Shire who enlisted in World War I. The book is primarily based around the honour boards located in the Shire, some of which are no longer available. There are stories associated with some of the men and the women, the towns during the war, and the conflicts of World War I. The book can be downloaded from the website. During World War II, over 5,000 men from 4 light horse regiments camped at Torquay. Some names have been identified, but many images are available from the website, and the story behind the light horse is published too. Another aid to family history researchers is the Maps page on the website. Historic places around Torquay are identified on Google Maps, as well as a map and details of locations on the Surf Coast Heritage Register. A research request form is available under the Research and Learn menu tab. A simple email or Facebook message also receives attention from the group. For up-to-date information on the activities of each group, check out their Facebook page and contact them via Facebook or through the contact details posted on their website or blog.